Go ahead.
Start?
Yeah.
Alright, so the Coffee Creek wastewater treatment plant in Edmond, Oklahoma was built in 1972, and some of the recent updates of the plant over the years are been aimed at increasing the treatment capacity from 9 million gallons per day to 12 million gallons per day. The recent updates are set for completion in 2019. And wastewater treatment plants are very important because they treat wastewater before it is released back into the environment. Untreated wastewater released back into the environment without being treated is it's gonna contaminate the water systems, and it's gonna cause different diseases such as typhoid and typhoid.
And cholera.
Cholera.
That was the other one that you had.
Yeah. Okay.
It's okay.
Alright. So the wastewater treatment plant was the Federal Pollution Act of 1948 was one of the first acts that dealt with wastewater treatment. It provided funds to state and local agencies to take care of water pollution. And the Clean Water Act was an amendment to the act, to the Federal Water Pollution Act, which it set limits on discharges. It created the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System. And in Oklahoma, the EPA has granted state agencies like Oklahoma DEQ, Department of Environmental Quality authority to issue those permits. The treatment process at the plant is a 3-step process, which starts with the primary process, which is just the removal of large debris and other sediments like sand and stones from the wastewater. The second step is the biological treatment of the wastewater. This is where microbes are loaded into sludge, and that helps to break down organic matter in the wastewater. And the last step is just the removal of last step is just filtration and disinfection of the wastewater before it is discharged back into the environment. So you can see the outline of the plant where and the picture here that talks about the different stages of the treatment process. Some of the so at the wastewater plant, they're required to monitor for several criteria based on the permit granted by DEQ. They're required to measure for things like total suspended solids, total dissolved oxygen, fecal coliform, and nitrates and phosphorus. And they also have to measure mixed liquor suspended solids, which is just to control how much microbes are loaded into the aeration tanks for the biological treatment. And then the mean residence time is just how long. It's the sludge age. It's the average time the organism can spend in the second stage of the treatment process, which is the breaking down of the biological matter. And the main I think that's it.
Okay.
Woo!
Any questions? Let's see, how are we on time? It's about 5 minutes. Okay, so we've got some time for questions. So can you just walk us through the flow of the actual treatment plant? So where does water come in? How does it go through? And then where does it leave?
So water is collected at so in Edmond, Oklahoma, they have 10 lift stations, which it's used to collect wastewater and sewage from around the city. And that is pumped to the Headworks facility right here. And from here, it is sent through, at this stage, it undergoes the primary treatment, which is the removal of large debris and the grid removal of sand and other smaller particles. And from here, it goes into the secondary stage of the aerators, which is where the sludge with organic matter is pumped, and this is where the biological treatment process takes place. And from here, it goes to the clarifiers where it removes. This is just to remove extra sediment, so just a tank, and the smaller particles are left to settle to the bottom. And from here, it goes to another stage of aerators, where it just continue. Micro sludge is loaded into the tanks, and just to another stage of biological treatment. And from there, we have the clarifiers again, and then we have a final clarifier stage where an extra stage of just to let the sediments that are left in the water to sink to the bottom of the tank. And from there we go to disinfection and filtration. And after that, in this area right here. And after that, the effluent is then discharged to the lift stations and back into the environment.
I didn't see you describe the oxidation ditches. So where did they come into the process? Did I miss that?
No. So the oxidation ditches right here are just, this is where the mixed liquor suspended solids are. So this is where the mixed liquor suspended solids are.
So does it start at the screw pump and then go here first and then here, or does it go oxidation, aeration, and then to the oxidation ditches?
Oxidation ditches and aeration.
Okay.
And to the clarifiers. And final clarifier.
So what's the purpose of the oxidation ditches?
It's just another stage of where you have oxygen being pumped in another process of mixing the sludge and oxygen to aid with the biological treatment process.
So I guess that's where the wastewater first gets seeded
Yes.
with the, what do you call it,
With
mixed liquor?
Yeah, the sludge, yeah. The
With the sludge,
biosolids, yeah. So the sludge and organic and microbes for the aeration chamber.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? No?
No.
Really?
I guess when do the sludge ponds come into play?
Oh, yes, I didn't talk about that. All right, so the sludge ponds. So going through the treatment process, once the wastewater is at the aeration chambers, here we have some sludge that is taken out and returned back to the beginning of the process, and they have some here which are left to sit at the bottom, and the mean residence time determines when the sludge from the aeration chambers are taken out and put in the sludge pond. They stay at the sludge pond for about a year before they're taken and dewatered and donated to farms in the community as fertilizer.
I have a question.
Yes.
So what is all of this?
So this is another schematic of the plant and the flow and the treatment. And then, so here it shows the different lift stations and how the screening process, we have 2 screening process here, and then it goes through the different phases of treatment through the aeration chambers, oxidation ditches, and clarifiers. And it's
Okay. Thank you.